Hey, all you rock stars, what is really going on? What has been going on? You are indeed on the winning walk with Christina, and as you can tell, we're having a little cool off period. Skies all cloudy and, and it's overcast. Sun is safely tucked away, not to burn us up with fire, which is amazing and wonderful. And I'm enjoying this relaxing morning, and I hope wherever you are, you're having a good midweek time. I hope all has been well with y'all and y'all have been doing pretty good. I've been kind of sporadic, especially in uploading of content. Not only because there's been like slim pickings around there here, although I had like a fantastic haul a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna get that video edited and put out, but I just hadn't been feeling it. It's been so hot and it's just been draining of my energy. A lot going on at work too, so just been kind of busy, kind of preoccupied in my own little world about a couple of things that I got on my mind. But just feel like, y'all, I'm in a period of transition. I'm in a period of change and not the usual. I'm just going in a different direction, mentally, physically, spiritually. I just feel a shift for me, a change. And I'm just flowing into that and trying not to ask the Lord so many questions about it, because I know in time He will reveal, But yeah, overall, I just feel like I'm in the middle of a change in season as to His direction for me, what He wants me to do with the rest of my life. But this past weekend, y'all, I want to talk briefly about what happened. Now, I was supposed to have my yard sale more along the lines of the first of the month, but there were so many periods of rain, especially on the Saturday when I wanted it. It was an absolute mess, and the ground was so saturated from all the rain we've gotten these past months, to where I think even if it hadn't rained that Saturday, the ground was still gonna be so wet it wouldn't have been a good turnout. And plus, as you can see by all of the trees that are down, that are still yet to be picked up, our city is just, they're everywhere. They're still everywhere. So people are still trying to dig out, and I just didn't think it would be cool to have a yard sale, so I postponed it. But this past weekend, the weather was absolutely perfect, and still hot as the dickens, but it didn't get, almost unbearably hot until the yard sale was pretty much over. So the Lord was really merciful and gracious to us, and we had a beautiful time. The bugs were at a minimum. We didn't have like a mosquito or a fly just take over. Everything about it was just perfect, and it went well. And I made quite a bit of money. But if you know anything about the yard sales I have, the yard sales are really my way of meeting my neighbors and getting to know them and talking to them and just blessing them. I mean, the things I find come with price tags and stuff. They're brand new, but they don't cost me anything but time and effort. So I'm not going to haggle and argue with people over stuff that I got for free, that the Lord wants me to freely give away anyway. So if somebody wants it, I'm sending them home with it. So in essence, you can say the yard sale is just like a donation for me. If you want to give me some money, you can give me some money, which I'm gonna turn around and give to the homeless pretty much anyway. So that's what they're for. They're just like neighborhood events where I can meet my neighbors and bless them. Well, this lady came from around the corner. She lives around the corner from me on the side street, and she came, and I'd never seen her before, and she was talking to Ren, telling him that her son walks a lot and stuff and has seen him around the neighborhood. So that's how she kind of knew where our house was, and she decided to come over, and she bought quite a bit of stuff. And she said I'm not trying to overbuy a bunch of stuff. She said, but what I'm doing is I'm helping this lady and her kids that work with my daughter. They moved here from Pakistan with nothing. They have absolutely nothing. So I'm getting all of these things that I'm putting in this big trash bag for her and her kids, and they don't have anything. I'm getting them clothes and all of that stuff. Whatever I can get from here, that's what I'm getting for them. And I told her, I said, well, whatever you can fit in that big trash bag, I'm gonna give it to you for $20. I'm gonna let you have whatever you can get, and make sure you fill it up as full as you can. And I'm gonna give you a little tote bag here, and whatever you can put in that tote bag, I'm going to give you personally. I want you to shop for you while you shopping for them. And for your stuff, I'm not giving you that. I'm not asking you to give me anything. And she almost broke down and cried. She said, I'm just trying to help them. I'm not trying to be. She said, how can you do this? And I was just like, you know what? I can do it because the Lord asked me to. She said, well, I'm not Christian. You know, I'm of the Baha'i faith. I'm not a Christian, but we believe in helping the community, and we believe in helping everybody around us. I say, well, as followers of Christ, we believe the same thing. We believe that if we freely receive something, we should freely give it. And so there we share a common belief. We may not share a common God, but we share a common belief. I'm about helping my neighbors in any way I can, especially if I'm able to. There may become a time in the future where I may not be able to help, but as long as I can help, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Her eyes was filling with tears, my eyes was filling with tears, and I just thought, it's like the Lord has been seeing the stuff I've been dealing with these past couple of weeks, the anger, the betrayal, all of the hurt. And he sees me reaching and stretching to bring some joy to somebody else, even though my heart is hurting, and it still is. I'm healing, but it still hurts quite a bit. Ooh, that Tesla looks nice. That's one of my dream cars. But anyway, he sees that, and he sees me trying to distract my own focus from that, because pain, when you've been hurt the way I've been hurt here recently, leads you to depression. A lot of people, when they get hurt like that, they get depressed and turn inward, and it's all like, woe is me, and because of this, I'm not gonna try to be a blessing to anybody else to help them, and look how I was done, and you turn in on yourself. And I know that, and I recognize that, and I fought against it. And I said, I'm gonna have to go see it, because the Wednesday before, I was like, well, maybe I'm just gonna cancel again. I really don't want to do this, but I'm so glad I pushed through and went ahead and did that. And so that was one woman. Another woman I talked to, I never seen her before, but she was on the same street. She was on the same street we do, a couple of doors down. And she came down there with her son, and they were shopping. And I had the Hello Kitty mirror that I found out there, because Kathy decided she didn't want to put her room. She was going to go in another direction of Hello Kitty and the other, like, Sanrio characters, but she didn't want that mirror. And I was like, are you kidding me? And so this lady saw it, and she decided she wanted to get it for her daughter. So I let it go for a pretty decent price. And she was looking through the stuff. She was like, this stuff have tags on it. I said, yeah, it does. And she said, oh my gosh, I want this. She said, this is just, I feel so greedy. And you pretty much giving it away. I said, yeah, that's the point. That's the point. I don't want to store this stuff. I don't want to pay to store it. So yeah, I'm giving it away. And she's just like, oh my gosh, my daughter's gonna lose her mind for her birthday. She loves Hello Kitty. She's gonna lose her mind. It's gonna be her birthday gift. And I said, okay, cool. And so she left, and she came back with her son. She was like, okay, I want to get this. When it was all said and done, she helped. She really was the backbone of my yard sale. When she left, she had spent nearly almost $200. And she was just like, I got to leave. I got to go. This is just... She said, how often do you have these? I said, I try to have at least 2 or 3 during the year. You know, whatever the city will allow me to have. And that's normally 3. You know, I normally have 2 or 3 every year. She was like, oh my gosh, please let me know when you're having another one. I said, okay, I will. So it was cool meeting her. And so the yard sale was about over, and I said, well, what I'm gonna do is, because I'm intent on having room and space to store the things I find, so I've got to be more giving and more kind in getting rid of these things, so I will have the room and I won't have to think of a storage unit and stuff like that. So I said, the rest of it, I'm not going to put back in the shed. I'm gonna give it away. I'm gonna put it on the curb, and I'm gonna let my neighbors come get it. Now, 5 minutes after I did that, neighbors was pulling up. They were like, okay. And it wasn't my neighbors on my street or around the street. It was a lady that pulled up. And this as we was leaving to go get, you know, lunch or what have you. She pulled up and she said, she looked through the things and she was just like, is there anything I can give you for this? Any amount of money I can give you? I said, no. I said, no. I have been blessed today. And so whatever you want, if you want it all and you know somebody with a truck that can come get it, do that. She said she could have just cried. Her face just fell because she couldn't believe it. And her eyes were filling with tears. She said, my daughter just moved out on her own. She doesn't have bowls and dishes and cups and all of this stuff. And this stuff is brand new. And I didn't have the money to really help her. We got a few things, but not what I would have liked for her to start out in her new place with. And she said it's like everything she's gonna need is right here on this curb. She said, I just got to give you something. I said, no. I said, no, don't give me anything. But make sure she gets everything that she needs, because that's what this was for. I set all this out just hoping I would bless somebody, but here you are. So God is good. She was like, thank you so much. I just, and she just was just in shock. But she was gathering the stuff. And I've been thinking about that ever since, and I haven't been able to think really about anything else. That is why the Lord, and it's just a reminder to me that the Lord shows me this kind of favor, because this is what he wants me to do with it. The world is so untrusting and so selfish and so out for themselves that they don't understand goodness, kindness, generosity with no strings attached. They don't get it. They don't, they're always stunned. And it's because everybody's so selfish. They're out for themselves. So when somebody is giving you something and you know it's not hunks of junk that they're just throwing away, they're always stunned. But that's what God gives to us every day. The Bible says that his mercies are new every morning, new with price tags still on it, that his son, the Lord Jesus, bought and paid for with his life, his blood. We get those mercies every morning, and his hands are open to give us what we need. But he's always desiring that we have a heart, not just for ourselves, but to give to others. And that's what he asks us to do. That's why he's filling my hands. He's not filling my hands for me to fill my house. He's filling my hands to fill every house in this neighborhood. Everyone who comes in contact and knows enough about what generosity would be, what uncommon favor could do. Just those who are able to receive it, and people are just not able to receive it because they're wondering, okay, what's the catch? There is no catch. There is no catch. I have this conversation with people with every yard sale I have, because people are so mistrusting and so selfish and so used to people trying to con them or scam them or pull some game on them, that they don't know how to deal with uncommon favor. They're not used to that type of favor. But that's why I'm here, and as long as the Lord fills my hands, that's exactly what I'm going to do with what he gives me. I'm going to be a blessing. It's the catch. For me, that's the catch. It's so fulfilling to me, and it so fills me up and keeps me from being empty and wondering what my life's purpose is. Just the act of giving is amazing to me. Amazing what it does for me. Giving things away is everything. I have nothing, and yet I have everything at the same time. And so that's my word for the day for y'all. Find a way to be uncommonly favorable to somebody at least one time this week, and see what it does for your heart. See if you don't feel the difference in just being a blessing to somebody, just because, just out the blue, just for no reason. Just give something away, and see if you don't feel a sense of fulfillment by it. The Lord is pleased every time you do it, especially something that you really like and you really want, and you really know the value of. Give it away. Give it away. Not only will it fulfill you, but it will deal with your sense of entitlement, your sense of selfishness, your innate ability to want to gather things to you that you don't necessarily need. It's gonna deal with all of that, but it's gonna be a wonderful thing for your soul. Because more and more, as the world gets darker and darker, the Lord is gonna ask you to do that. And it will be good for you to get into the habit of ridding yourself of things you really don't need, so that other people can have what they need. That's one of the reasons why, other than putting your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, that you're actually here. You are blessed with the blessings in Jesus to bless other people, not just your house. So with that said, y'all have a fantastic week, rock stars.